The topics discussed and the information provided on this program is for general information. The hosts of this show are not medical professionals and are expressing their personal views and stories related to their individual lives. Their views are not intended to be used or taken as medical information. If you or a family member have suffered a traumatic brain injury, you should seek help from a practicing licensed physician.
You're getting ready to watch Brain Mechanics. It's brought to you by a severe brain injured survivor. But you are your own brain mechanic. I'm my own brain mechanic. I have the wrenches, I know how to put in the fuel. You also are the operator of you. Do we need specialists? Sometimes it's more than changing a tire. But you need to keep alert, listen to your body, go the proper speeds, and always check your air pressure. Look in the mirror. Remember, you're going forward and hit the road.
Hello, I'm David Lundquist. I guess I'm a co-host here. I'm here because of the star of our show, Matt Duffin. In 1975, when I started teaching at Stinkin' Lincoln High School, as Hagerstown would say, I had him in the first period of the first day of my classes. 37 years later, his daughter was in my summer school class, and he came to the last day of the summer school class. So he's the only student I've ever had who saw me from the very beginning all the way to the very end. I ran across him again. We wrote sports for different papers and would run into each other there. And frankly, I think he belongs in the Western Wayne Athletic Hall of Fame, the writers section. But then I found out about his bad injury. And that was 12 years ago now?
Mm-hmm. 13.
13. Okay, 2 summers ago, I was walking around Baker Park, and I saw the guys playing in the Miracle League, and I knew Matt Duffin was in the Miracle League, so I hooked up with him again, and that's been the start of reestablishing a relationship that started a long time ago. He knows what he's talking about if he can remember it. just that's my humor. All right. Okay, I think we might be going to someone else that would be one of the guests. Is that right? Go for it, Matt. Matt Duffin.
Hi, Teresa. I am Matt Duffin. Oh, you're quiet. You're silent.
There you go. How are you, Matt?
There you are. I'm good. How are you?
I like that shirt. I grew up in Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, I had it's my contribution to Pete Rose. You know, I thought Pete Rose was a great baseball player.
Greatest player ever to play the game. I'm sorry. He taught us how to slide head first, how to hustle to first base, and how to win.
Knock over catchers.
You might not be able to see this on this hat, but it's got a little pin with Pete Rose sliding head first.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're a lot younger than I am. I was in high school and college during the Big Red Machine era, and I mean, we just lived Cincinnati baseball, so it's nice to see your shirt.
Yeah, well, I wore it in memory of everything. You know, I hated the fact that he got through the situations that he got through.
Yeah, but at least he betted on his own team.
Yeah, well, or he didn't bet, but right, you know. Rules are rules, and rules, they own them.
Yep.
Do I like it that he's suspended from baseball forever? No, but he is. I got a brain injury forever. It's the way it is.
Yep.
So, Teresa, I've not really personally talked to you like I am now. Hi, everybody. You live in Indianapolis area.
I do.
And Your daughter had a brain injury not long after I did, I do believe.
Yeah, her injury was in 2000, the last day of 2007. She hit black ice going 35 miles an hour in a car. No drugs or alcohol involved, just a bad spot that her car hit. And so
Right.
she's 13 years out, and like you, working hard to live as best as they can.
There's a lot of confusion every day as you figure out more of life as it is. I was trained through the Dr. Lisa Thompson Foundation through RHI, really, really strong. And I have no idea where I would be without coping skills.
Yeah, it's a great program. Great program. We got a lot of great programs around the state, and what we're doing with this Villa Licci project, which is what I'm going to be talking with you today, is to help individuals post brain injury when all the friends are gone and family even abandoned sometime, and it's hard to find your niche in the world. This Villa Licci community is being built for those that have survived a traumatic brain injury. I think at the beginning, being a teacher by profession, it's always important for me to say the difference between acquired brain injury, traumatic brain injury, and those that are born developmentally disabled.
Right.
Go ahead.
There's a big difference between each and every one, but then again, there's a big difference between each and every individual in life anyway. And the certain reactions and certain things, and people can be taught, they can be trained. It's up to the person that can see it in their eyes when they're doing it, because you have to be developmental with their own mind and their own thought process. So as a speech therapist, I had Joni Goins that was just marvelous, and she was just right into everything I did for 2 years probably.
Yeah, there are some things though people cannot overcome with brain injury, like short-term memory. Some people, their short-term memory never gets stronger. But in terms of our project with Villa Licci, there are housing opportunities out there, many places for people with developmental disabilities, meaning they were born with the disabilities they have. There's also housing for those with autism. There's been a great, wonderful effort to help those with autism. Those with acquired brain injury, somebody that maybe had a stroke or something when they were young in life or whatever, there's opportunities for them. But specifically for those that have a traumatic brain injury.
Which aneurysms would be in that category probably too.
Aneurysms would be acquired.
Right, that's more of a specific area of the brain that was damaged.
The traumatic brain injury is a blunt force to the head.
Right.
So we're talking any blunt force to the head would separate a traumatic brain injury from an acquired one. And as you well know, those that have traumatic brain injury, they had a normal life. They were born normal, if you can put normal in parentheses for whatever that means. Many of them were thriving in school. I know my daughter was a 3.5 nursing student and on a scholarship at St. Louis University when she had her accident.
Right.
So you know the life you had, and it's been taken away from you by this injury. That's one thing that traumatic brain injury and some acquired brain injury individuals have in common. So this community that is going to be the first of its kind in the nation for those that have traumatic brain injury will be built here in central Indiana. And we're really proud about that. We want Indiana to lead the way. And it's going to be for all those in the state of Indiana, not just central Indiana. We're building it centrally so it's accessible from Terre Haute to Richmond to South Bend to Evansville.
Is Indiana University involved in any way? I know they get a lot of grant money for brain injury.
Right now, we are trying to fund this privately for a number of reasons. But the main reason is if we were to go and seek any government money, like from HUD for housing and that, there's always the chance of HUD saying, oh, we need to put some people that don't have traumatic brain injury in there.
Right. And
we're trying to guard that.
We're trying to let people learn to be as one again.
Correct.
in a group setting.
It's not going to be a nursing home. It's
Right.
not going to be assisted living. It's going to be small apartments, some single, some double, some triple. And the whole purpose of this community is going to be socialization, to have social opportunities within the community and outside the community.
No, they won't be married couples or anything unless they get married, I suppose, when they're in there. But
There could be married couples. Those are all things that we're open to if you have someone with a traumatic brain injury. But many times, if somebody gets married to someone without a traumatic brain injury, they seem to choose to live out on their own.
mm-hmm.
But and we like to say traumatic brain injury is not, doesn't have a prejudice, and neither do we. So we're open to all those that have suffered a traumatic brain injury.
Because I know so many people that's had brain injury. I've had the fortunate, I guess, part of my life to meet and talk to. A lot of them do end up by themselves. Their families are great at first, but everybody has their own life, so they have to go their own direction in life. Mm-hmm. Well, the person with the brain injuries still got their own life. They're still going their own, but they don't want to do much, whatever their situation might be. I have a lot of motivational problems. Of course, as my teacher, you probably knew that as a young man. But, I got a list here, so I can keep off my top of my head. But there's a lot of fallacies with having a brain injury, and they all come from different directions. It could be your anxiety, it could be your memory. Villa Licci. Isn't that named after somebody, you said?
It is. It's named after St. John Licci, who's the patron saint of brain injury.
Okay. Yeah. And it'll be 70, 65. It'll be in Indianapolis area somewhere, in a nice area somewhere.
We have 13 acres of land, and we're at the point where we are working with the city that it will be in order to get the zoning and get the approvals. So we're not making it public at this time exactly where the location will be. But we own the 13 acres of land. The architects are working with us right now on how the property is going to be laid out. We are looking to have 2 or 3 buildings that have apartments for anywhere from 30 to 50 individuals. We will have an extra building for socialization opportunities for those that choose not to live there but may have a brain injury and would like to be a part of the social. And there'll be a walking trail. It's all about being together, having friends, having opportunities to do things and not being isolated.
Share ideas, share thoughts. Say, no, man, I do things like this. Well, and just to challenge each other. We used to go camping all the time, every year. Not all the time, but, as the state of Indiana, and we'd have 20, 30 survivors and equal or more amount of caregivers and therapists with us, and we learned so much when we just sit around and eat breakfast together in the morning, just because you don't have a lot of brain injured people together. We have a lot of support groups in Indiana. I am one over here from Milton, but we've not been doing anything through pandemic hell. Pandemic took meetings and things away from most of us that I know of.
I had a call recently with FSSA, and I thought there were 70,000 individuals in Indiana with some form of brain injury. They informed me there's 73,000 people in Indiana with some form of brain injury, many which are at home with their parents or family members. And they need hope. They need to know that they can live independently, and there'll be some support there. People will bring their own waivers with them if they're on the traumatic brain injury waiver or the age and disabled. They'll use their own therapists and all. But the beautiful thing is, for the many rehab hospitals around Indiana, if they're doing a study on brain injury, they can always call Villa Licci and say, hey, can I come and see if anyone would like to volunteer for the study, they'd have the majority of those on one big property, and people would have the option to try and help with those studies. So it really will be a win-win for everybody.
Right.
And our prayer is next year, this time, we're going to be moving dirt, but we're just about to start a major financial campaign. We need to raise about $15 million. And I just know that the companies and the people in Indiana will get behind this.
I know I certainly will, from Eastern Indiana. You know, in the Muncie area, I have a lot of good contact with the survivor group from Muncie, and of course not as much lately, but you know, things will be picking back up as the pandemic has come to a slow close, you know.
Absolutely. Last night we had at my house the group from Indianapolis, and I bet we had 35 people there, and everybody was happy to be together again and see each other's face.
Yeah. Was, I can't remember her name now. I think she runs the Beach Grove area group.
Yeah, this group was mainly the Indianapolis group, so I don't think the Beach Grove group was up here, but they may have been.
Is that the younger person group? I forget what it's called too.
Yeah, they're called Heads or Tails.
Yeah, Heads or Tails.
Yeah, Rhonda Freeman and Susie Fitt and I'm trying to think the other gal.
I know Susie real well. I mean, you know, I've spent a lot of time with Erin in my recovery, and
He's a great guy.
Yeah, she was a program researcher out at the Neuroscience Center, I think.
Right, Rianne is one of the leaders of that group as well. I can't remember Rianne's last name.
They come, you know.
Anyhow, if you have any listeners that would like to get on board with this in any way, even if you don't have anything to donate, if you'd like to get involved and help with this project, right now we have 2 boards made up of one of parents and family members only. That is the top board. And then we have businessmen and women from the community on our executive board. One is a lawyer that used to be the head of the National Brain Injury Association. Mm-hmm. We have builder on our board. We have, you know, we just got some great people that all have a heart for those with traumatic brain injury. And God's been good to us, and he's moving the chess pieces around, and good things keep happening. So I'm convinced this community, the first in the United States, is going to be here in Indiana.
Well, great, honey. I mean, it's wonderful news. It was, I guess it was a month or so ago. You told me, and we was talking about it. I haven't talked to you in a while. And I'm so glad you could be on with us this morning to share that information before the year started getting away from me, because people do need to get on board with it. I'm sure I'll get you all your information when we're done with the show, or tomorrow or something. And
yeah, and those that are listening, we have a website with a 4-minute video that really can touch your heart. You know, you see all these videos on television with wounded warriors and that just rip at your heart. And we're a segment of society that is unknown, pretty well unknown. And our job is to make ourselves known and let people know that we need help. So if you go to Villa Licci, it's V as in Victor, ILLALICCI.org. You'll go to our website. You can see who's on our board. You can see the video and see where we're headed.
Okay. And I would imagine I would know a few of those.
I'm sure you will.
Somehow we used to all run in the same circle.
Eventually, we're all in the same circle. That's correct.
Yeah, and we should be. I mean, get together and study, get together and play laser tag, just whatever, you know. Yeah. We're our own society too. We should have group meetings. We should have interesting conversations.
And you know, our hope is that we may even have some employment opportunities on the property, where we can, you know, have people come in, teach us, different people that like woodworking or crafts and that, and maybe sell them on the property there, and And this group of people is smart, and they got a lot to offer, and it's time to get them out in the culture and show our good side.
I 100% agree with you. This was a dream of mine years ago, but they ended up, Milton is a little bitty town, but we had an old school. And I thought they could turn that into a TBI recovery area, rebuild the school. McDonald's, I know, would put a place across the street, and everybody that we use one of them, or somebody for these people to work at, these people being my people, so we can live there and work there and all be within regard of each other. Then, a year or two, whatever it takes, move on to the next, kind of like they do in Southern Illinois, Carbondale.
Mm-hmm. Carbondale also is a major nursing home too, and so that's why we've looked all over the country, and we have not found a place that isn't nursing home driven or group home, where there's a hodgepodge of different people
Right.
with different struggles. And that's why it's so important that we get Villa Licci up and running and smoothly, so it can be modeled in other parts of the country to help other people that have survived.
Sure, great. It's been wonderful having you with us, unless you have anything further you'd like to ask or say.
Nope. Keep up the good work. Thanks for having us, and we'll keep you updated as we move forward.
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
Have a blessed day.
Bye. Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much, Teresa. Schwinger?
Schutzman.
Schutzman.
Yes.
I knew Schutzman. I'm sorry. She
That's
told me
okay. It's a tough name.
She told me this morning she blamed her husband for that.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. That was really cool. And out of the blue, hi. This is my red, white, and blue patriotic tie that she was talking about, that my cat seemed to like all year long. There we go. Get my desk organized, get my Pete Rose hat on. I had a conversation with a man, and I didn't want to get into it with her either. I simply love the game of baseball. I was an umpire for a long time. I've coached for a long time. I played forever. I simply love the game of baseball. When you get suspended and banned for your actions, and you accept the permanent ban, it's like a murder guilty, and you say, yes, I did it. You did it. Do I love what Pete Rose contributed to baseball? Well, yeah. I wish he could still do that. He came to Richmond, Indiana. There was almost 5,000 people in Bride Stadium, Municipal Stadium, John Cate Field, whichever it is. But I was there recently for the sectional, nice place. A lot of memories in that ballpark. But anyway, Pete cheated. I'm sorry. Did the Astros cheat? I heard they did. You can't read about it. That's all inside. It's like government sealed indictments. You don't know who did what. People told on each other so they could get out of this, that, and the other. Bottom line is, it's about the money, right? Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame, sadly. I guess he don't have enough money. Mm-hmm. And Roger Clemens and all along. These are other people's opinions, which is another feeling that might come a different direction from somebody else that has a feeling and an opinion on it, as we was talking about emotions earlier today. And that's why. So I think Pete was good. I've been married 3 times. I loved all 3 of them, all at one time. Still kind of, I've been happily divorced 3 times too. You take the good with the bad, and you live with what you do. And you take that emotion and run with it. I lost you, didn't I? 246 years. The Olympics has probably happened by now, or is happening towards the end of the month. USA. I hear that Japan's not going to allow any protest. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
No freedom of speech.
I guess no solidarity hands or.
Right. No, you can't do that.
Oh gosh, in '72 wasn't it? Those two
Oh, yeah.
track stars. Can't remember their names.
First and third.
It's like the world blew them up. Excuse me. There's a war going on that we're sending people to that's dying that's the same age. And you're booing these guys because they feel they're being left out of society and they're trying to show that. I guess they shouldn't have been the fastest runners we had to offer.
I can't remember their names either.
No, that's back when the Soviets were
Oh, yeah.
cheating in basketball. What was it, 3 or 4 different, the last 3 seconds of the game was played 3 or 4 different times until they won it. I got to wrap this up, she's telling me. And I think I just found that list. Oh. A survivor rating form. Repeat this show and read these down. You know, circle whether it's a weakness or a strength. Do they have memory in conversations and appointments? Does they have memory problems? Is that a weakness or a strength? Making decisions, communicating with others, weakness or strength? Unable to come up with the right word. We'll put weakness on that one. You know, using good judgment, you know, planning ability. Thank you for watching Brain Mechanics.
Yes.
Thank you.
The topics discussed and the information provided on this program is for general information. The hosts of this show are not medical professionals and are expressing their personal views and stories related to their individual lives. Their views are not intended to be used or taken as medical information. If you or a family member have suffered a traumatic brain injury, you should seek help from a practicing licensed physician.